You are listening to the William Gomes Podcast. I am William Gomes and I am grateful to have you here. Today, I want to explore a topic that has been overlooked for far too long: autism and gender. For decades, autism was understood through a narrow lens, one that assumed autistic people were mostly boys. This assumption did profound harm. It meant that countless autistic girls, women, and non binary people went unnoticed, unsupported, and misunderstood. Their needs were invisible because the world was not looking for them. In this episode, I want to talk about why gender matters in autism and how listening more carefully to diverse voices helps us understand autism more fully. One of the reasons autistic girls and women have been overlooked is masking. Many autistic girls learn early in life to hide their differences. They observe, copy, and rehearse social behaviors to fit in. They follow social rules by watching others and trying to blend into the background. They may smile when overwhelmed, mirror gestures they do not understand, or adopt scripts to navigate conversations. This masking can be so effective that adults assume they are coping, when in reality, they may be exhausted, anxious, or deeply confused. Masking often comes at a high cost. It takes energy, enormous energy. And over time, that effort can lead to burnout, depression, or a sense of losing oneself. Yet, because the outside world sees competence, the internal struggle goes unseen. Another reason autistic girls and women are overlooked is that their interests may be misinterpreted. Autistic boys have often been identified through intense interests in things like trains, technology, or numbers. But autistic girls may show the same depth of interest in areas that appear more socially typical: animals, stories, fashion, celebrities, or art. Adults may not recognize these interests as autistic because they align with cultural expectations, but the intensity, the focus, and the emotional investment are just as deep and just as meaningful. Social expectations also play a part. Girls are often encouraged to be polite, quiet, and attentive. These expectations can hide social struggles. A girl who sits silently in class may be praised for good behavior, even if she is overwhelmed or unable to follow the lesson. A girl who avoids conflict may appear socially skilled, even if she does not understand the social dynamics around her. These expectations mask genuine needs. Autistic women and non binary people also frequently report difficulty receiving a diagnosis later in life. They may be misdiagnosed with conditions that describe their distress but not its cause. Anxiety, depression, borderline personality disorder, or eating disorders may be identified long before autism is considered. This leads to years of misunderstanding, inadequate support, and a painful sense of not fitting in anywhere. Understanding gender in autism requires us to broaden our perspective. Autism does not look one way, it does not follow one pattern. It is shaped by culture, expectations, identity, environment, and biology. Autistic girls may communicate differently, relate differently, and cope differently, but their experiences are no less valid, no less autistic, and no less deserving of recognition. It is also important to acknowledge the experiences of autistic trans and non binary people. Many describe a lifelong sense of difference, both in how they perceive themselves and how they relate to the world. The autism may shape how they understand gender, identity, and social expectations. Their gender journey may shape how they experience relationships and belonging. These intersections matter. They remind us that autism is not a single story, but a constellation of experiences. When we recognize these diverse expressions of autism, support becomes more meaningful. Instead of relying on stereotypes, we begin listening to the individual. We look beyond the mask. We honor the person's communication style. We take their sensory needs seriously, and we validate their struggles even when they appear outwardly capable. Supporting autistic girls, women, and non binary people means creating environments where they feel safe to be themselves. It means slowing down, asking open questions, and offering space for honesty. It means recognizing the signs of masking, believing the person when they describe the inner world, and understanding that outward ability does not erase internal difficulty. For many who receive a diagnosis later in life, the experience brings relief. It helps them understand their past, reclaim their identity, and see their need with compassion instead of shame. It allows them to make sense of years of exhaustion, confusion, or emotional struggle, and it offers a new way forward, one that honors authenticity. Autism does not belong to one gender, it belongs to humanity. And when we understand how gender shapes autistic experience, we move closer to recognizing the full diversity of autistic lives. In the next episode, we will explore how early developmental pathways influence autistic cognition and why these patterns matter for understanding the strengths and challenges that appear later in life. But for now, I hope this conversation brings light to the voices that have been unheard for too long and reminds us of the importance of seeing every autistic person through a lens of curiosity and respect. Thank you for listening. This is the William Gomes Podcast. Take care of yourself, stay curious, and I will speak with you again soon.